What's up, everybody? Cinco de Mayo is here. Hope you guys are having a great night. I'm excited about our guest tonight. What is going on? Y'all didn't see my sign that my girlfriend made. There it is. Hope everyone is ready for another great show. What's up, Joe? What's up, Ricky? I hope you got a cerveza for yourself. Rock on. Tonight's guest is Alan, PCP Alan from the West Coast, baby. And we're going to talk about Coyote swap Foxbodies and his amazing Foxbody. So I hope you guys are ready. Let's get him on the show. It's on. We got a lot of people on tonight, so.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for the invitation.
I appreciate you, man. And I was thinking about it all day, man. Super excited because, like, I was looking on your page. You have a lot of people, and it seems like, and I live out in Boston, and I'm seeing this from afar. You've done a lot for the Foxbody community out there, and I just am knowing that from your Instagram.
Yeah, I got a YouTube also, but I don't really promote that too much. A lot of people don't really realize it's the same person until they like hear my voice or something like, oh, damn, that's the same guy on YouTube.
Yeah, I hear you. Cool, man. All right, cool. So what we'll do, Alan, is I got, a few questions for you about you and your awesome build, and we'll talk about that, and then we'll do our best to answer the questions. We'll try to get, like, the people that are viewing tonight to ask as many questions, because I know you're ready for it, and that was a lot of what we wanted to do tonight. So we'll rock it out that way. Sound good?
Yeah, all good. Let's do it.
Rocking. All right, cool. So I'll hit you with the first question, and we'll keep our eyes peeled. How did you get into Mustangs and Foxbodies? How did it all start for you?
I was always into them as a kid. Like, I remember growing up, there was this guy in our neighborhood by the park. He had a orange notchback, and I would always point it out to everybody. Like, damn, I like that car. I want to get one of those eventually. And at the time, people were like, oh, those are ugly. Back then, nobody was really into them like that. I mean, they were popular, but this is back in like 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
They were still popular, but not nearly as big as they are now. I had a cousin who bought an 87 GT when I was probably, like 16. Yeah. He actually sold me that same car when I was like 18, 19. Sold me that same GT that he originally bought from the original owner. And then that was it, man. That was the first one I got. It was an 87 GT, 5-speed, 5.0. That was it, man. I had worked on the car before it was actually mine. So that's where I learned a lot of the stuff. And then once it became mine, I just had a list of stuff to do to it as soon as I got it.
You knew right away.
Yeah. I did like gears. I mean, the basic stuff that everyone does when they first get their first Fox: gears, cowl hood, things like that. I cleaned up the interior. I got it painted because it was primered. Nice. Put a new transmission in and all that stuff. And then after that, at the end of the day, man, it was still just the GT, man. It was a Foxbody. No offense to anyone with the GTs. I love the GTs, but it was not really what I wanted. I still wanted a coupe.
Yep.
And again, this is still back in 2000. Now we're talking about
late 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for a notchback in general. Didn't really care if it was a 4-cylinder or CHP, and I ended up finding a CHP in Sacramento, which is about an hour away from me.
Nice.
I bought that one. At the time, I paid like $3,000 for it, and it was a black and white CHP. Still said Highway Patrol on the back. All original 505 speed, and I ended up buying that one, and then I sold my cousin back his GT.
Yeah.
So it worked out. He bought the GT back from me with a bunch of new mods for like $1,000 more.
Yeah, and then you can have that GT.
Yeah, I really wanted the coupe, man. I really wanted the body style, man. Like I said, as a kid, I saw it, and ever since then, I always wanted one. And then I finally got my hands on one, which was my second Mustang. After that, man, it just took off, man. I ended up building that one, put a 347 in it, TKO.
Damn.
That car is what really got me, like, kind of, I would say, known out here with the Foxbodies and stuff in my city and in my area.
Okay.
I did a lot with that car.
Wow. I saw maybe it was an older video. It was a video of it was a drag race. I don't think it was like your current car. Maybe it was that car maybe.
Yeah, it was a silver one. It was silver with a cow hood. I
Yeah.
did a lot of I did a lot of street racing in that car.
Hell
That
yeah,
was the car that
man.
really opened it up for me. That's what got me more, like, I would say, into the car scene, quote unquote, like, going to car meets and like going to street racing and stuff like that. And that's what got me like a little bit more familiar with everybody. Because before that, I was like into cars, but I never really had friends that were into cars. I had friends that were into other things.
Yeah. Is there a big, because I see a bunch of people on here, Foxbody, Foxbody, Foxbody. Is there a big like group of Foxbody like clubs out your ways?
Um, we had one club that was dedicated to Fox bodies only, but
Yeah.
Fox bodies are real popular out here. Real popular, like in the street racing, drag racing community, and also like in the, I mean, I don't know how you guys look at this, but like in the sideshow community, it used to
Yeah.
be a lot more because they were cheap. They were cheap cars that you can buy, do donuts in. It was easy to do donuts in them. It was easy to get your hands on one of them for cheap. Now, I mean, they're a lot more expensive. So I think people have gone to other alternatives.
Yep, that's true. Actually, young black Mexican said the same thing. They're hard to come
That guy
by.
lives down the street from me, man. I've done a lot of work on a lot of his cars too.
He said it's a collector's community now, which is absolutely
Yeah,
true.
that's right. He's actually got some really nice, real nice Fox bodies. A couple summer editions that he's got, and I've done work on his cars. Um, so yeah, I mean, it depends. Everybody looks at them differently. Some people want them just for drag because they're light. You can put any motor you want in them. Um, the collectors one, I just seen one the other day. One of my buddies is looking to get back into the Fox body game. He sent me one that was 16 grand, and
Holy,
it was
it's got to
original.
be nice though at that
Oh,
price.
it looked like it was worth it. See, to somebody like me, I'd look at it and I'd be like, it's definitely worth it in my opinion. It's
Yep,
unmolested, it's untouched, it's a 505 speed white. It doesn't have the black interior, but I mean, it's still a real clean notch.
absolutely. Bird was here said, "I wish I had a six summer edition."
He got one too, man. He's just being sarcastic. He got one too.
Uh, I'm like, "We'll start looking for you, man." Oh man, wow, that's awesome. So you had the CHP 347. Yeah. When did you get rid of that?
I had some legal issues, and I kind of evaluated everything. I decided to, it was time to get rid of it, to focus on more important things. I ended up selling it as a roller. I sold it as a roller. I mean, I posted it up for sale for like $6 or $7 grand at the time.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even get that. I couldn't get that for it. Yeah, it was a clean car too. I couldn't get that for it. It was clean title.
Yeah, it was built.
Yeah, no. And I couldn't get that for it, so I said, you know what, man, I'm gonna part it out, and I ended up making probably like triple that just by selling it in pieces. I sold the motor. Guy I met through Instagram also that we're pretty good friends now. I sold the transmission separately. I sold like the hood separate. I sold the body as a roller, things like that. I ended up getting rid of it, and then my intentions were always, anytime I part the cars out like that, my intentions are always, I'm done with the Fox body stuff. I'm done with the car stuff. I'm tired of wrenching. I'm tired of working on cars. It's a stressful habit. It's a stressful hobby, I would say.
It is. It is.
So once I got rid of it, I was intending like, nah, I'm not buying anything. Sure enough, I ended up buying like, I don't even remember, dude. I've had so many. I've had probably like 15 Fox bodies, and I don't even remember anymore.
That's crazy, man. Here I'm thinking you have maybe like a handful, but that's awesome. Well, that kind of shows where your experience comes from and what you're doing now and how you're helping people out, which looks like so easily, from my perspective,
Yeah.
You have Raw Life Living ask, what's your opinion on four bangers going for almost as much as 5.0s?
Everyone knows me for loving the four cylinders. That's me. That's what I'm about is saving the four cylinders. I've said it before. I've used the hashtag multiple times. Four banger swaps only. I personally, I hope I don't offend anybody with this, but I'll never go back to a push rod 5.0.
No, you're good, man.
Once you've had a Coyote, it's like
controversy is great.
once you've had a Coyote, it's like, why go back to a push rod, you know? But me personally, I would definitely prefer I would personally pay more for an unmolested 4-cylinder than I would for an original V8 that's been handed around, you know? That's just me. You know, the 4-cylinder is not abused. It was a 4-cylinder. How much abuse could I have gotten? You know,
That's true.
the body's going to be straight. Everything's going to be good on it. It's the same exact body as the V8. Everything's the same besides, you know, obviously exhaust, rear end, you know, brakes like that. All things that I'm going to change anyway. This car right here, as a matter of fact, I bought it as an automatic 4-cylinder as well. And at the time, I may have overpaid a little bit, but I looked at it as I'm not putting any money into the interior. I'm not putting any money into the body. It doesn't need anything but a drivetrain, suspension, and, you know, wheels and stuff like that.
And there's no rust out your ways, right?
No, not really. No, unless they came from from other states or something. But for the most part, not a lot of rusted cars out here.
Wow. So that's kind of how it all started for you once you got your first taste of the Coyote motor.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Why don't we do this? Hopefully I don't lose you, because yesterday we did a live, and sometimes in the garage the internet gets a little crazy. But do you? It's your choice. You can do a walk around of your car, or you can tell us kind of.
Yeah, sure. I'll do a little. Hopefully I don't lose connection, man. I'll be back if I do. Hold on.
We'll be back. Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, I'll let you talk.
Real quick.
Rock it, man. Rock it. You got 2 in there.
Oh yeah, I actually got 2. I'm actually doing this one was originally supposed to be my son's car. It's a 93 hatchback. He chose the hatchback over the coupe.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it looked a little sportier to him. I don't know, but he chose the hatchback over the coupe. I showed him 2. He chose this one, so I was like, okay, cool. He's really, really into Mustangs, more than anything, like GT500s and stuff. But
wow.
This one I'm currently swapping now. This right here has been an emotional one, man. I've been up and down with this thing. Selling stuff, switching the setup. You know, I don't want to do this. I'm going to do this. This car hasn't ran in 2 months, and it's already had 3 different setups in it. So that just goes to show you.
That's awesome.
That's
all right, so Alan, how old is your son?
He's 8.
Oh, no way.
The way I looked at it is
he loves it.
Yeah, the way I looked at it is by the time I started driving at 11, 12. By the time he's 12, these things are going to be extremely expensive. If I could buy him one now, we'll kind of work on it together here and there. By the time he's 13, 14, he's going to have a huge knowledge on these cars, and he's going to have something nice to start with.
Hell yeah. That's so awesome.
This is an 89. It started as an automatic 4-cylinder. The body on this thing is like probably definitely the cleanest Foxbody I've ever had.
Wow.
I got it from original owner, found it on Craigslist, pretty much begged them to meet up with me and sell it to me the same day. I found it within like 20 minutes of them posting it.
How'd you know that was the one?
I once again, I was in one of those stages where I sold everything I had. I sold everything Foxbody related that I owned. And I said, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to go get me a brand new GT5. Well, not a brand new, but brand new to me, but I'm going to go get me a GT500. I'm going to go get me a GT500, and I'm done with the Foxbodies. Like, they're older cars. They squeak. They make noise. You know, I was like, I'm done. So I went, looked at one. We agreed on a price. I get there. They changed the price on me, so it didn't happen. I found a 2014 GT500 with 5,000 miles. Like, it just didn't happen. It didn't work out. Jumped on Craigslist that night. Saw this one. They had just posted it, and I was like, I got to have it. I hit them up through email. Usually on Craigslist, and I don't know if you're like this too, but on Craigslist, when they only post the email and not the phone number, you kind of tend to not really take them serious now. I don't know. I just kind of look at it like that.
Yeah, no, I got you. I understand. Yep, I know what you're saying.
So I emailed them. She responded. You know, we kind of went back and forth. I pretty much begged her, like, let me just come look at it. And she was like, no, you know, on Thursday, it's Monday. Anyway, I convinced her to let me go look at it. I show up. It's her dad's car. He shows up with the car. Long story short, man, I ended up buying it. They were kind of like, why are so many people interested in this car? Like, what is it? They didn't know what it was.
They're like, what the hell?
Yeah, he was like, oh, and then one thing he did point out, he's like, oh, somebody caught me at a gas station and they tried to buy the windows off of me, the quarter windows.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because they're pretty much mint, so.
Damn. And those are getting harder and harder to get
Oh
too.
man, I seen somebody selling some for like $800.
Jeez.
So it's
It's like these masks.
right. It's like toilet paper right now.
Yeah.
So the interior is pretty much stock.
Yep.
Not I would prefer black interior, but it's so clean that I just left it. Usually
Wow.
I'll convert it to black interior, but it's so clean I just left it as is. It has
Like it
11
came
to
out
14
just out of
Coyote
the
seats.
factory, dude.
Yeah, it's actually really nice. It has manual windows, which I love. I hate those electric windows. Um, this
The
does
white fox
this
I have.
does work right here.
Oh, there you go.
Um, Originally the car when I first swapped it, it was a Gen 2 Coyote with a 6-speed T56.
Yep.
Kind of just got bored with the car. I had an injury where I kind of hurt my knee and my back pretty bad, so I ended up putting a 6R80 from a F-150 in it. So it's a 6-speed auto still. It's an auto, but it's still a 6-speed.
Nice.
It has, I mean, you can put it in drive, you can put it in sport mode, and then it also has paddle shifting, so like a select shift.
Really?
You
Okay.
can upshift, downshift. As of right now, I haven't wired it up. I'm gonna wire it up eventually to these buttons here, but
Oh,
as
cool.
of right now, just for like the tuning purposes, it's just wired up to like a upshift, downshift button.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know you had that. Well, until you showed me.
Yeah. So other than that, all my stock gauges work on the Coyote, which is a question I get asked all the time. With the Coyote swap, all of the Foxbody gauges work except for the speedometer one because it has an electric speedometer like sending unit. So obviously
Okay.
the mechanical one isn't going to work. Um, it's
Gotcha.
got power steering out of a Volvo. It's got
No way.
yeah, it's got a Hydro Boost. I'll show you on the other car now. It's got Hydro Boost out of a 96 to 98. Um, so it's got power brakes, power steering. Um, Other than that, the outside is pretty stock. It's original paint. None of the moldings have been replaced. Nothing has been painted. Um, Nothing like that. It's all original.
Wow.
Motor wise, it has a Gen 2 Coyote out of a 2017 Mustang. It's got now about 12,000 miles, I believe.
Wow. It's
It's
barely broken in.
yeah, it's pretty much stock. It just has a the 2018 air intake is a little bit larger diameter than the 15 to 17 one, so it has a
Yep.
2018 air intake and a 2018 intake manifold.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
Other than that, it's got a K&N filter, it's got Cook's long tubes, custom X pipe,
Oh, nice.
stock converter, 327 gears, AC. I mean, pretty much that's it. It's a real basic setup.
Did it normally come with those blue covers? I like that how they stand out like
No,
that.
those are like the Boss 302 covers came with that.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's I mean it's got Cobra brakes in the rear.
Yep.
It's got O3 Cobra brakes in the front. True
Got the new
Forge.
wheels.
Yeah, those ones, man. As soon as I saw them, I really wanted them. My buddy beat me to them, and then I pretty much begged him to sell them to me for like a good month until he finally gave in and was like, "All right, I'll sell them to you." So it's got like 17. What are they? 17 by 6, I believe, in the front or 5. So
Yeah.
you can run a regular street tire. It's not like the skinny tires where they're, $500 for a pair. You can still run regular street tires, and in the back, the fronts are 17s to clear the Cobra brakes, and in the back, it's got 16 by 10s. And I just run a drag radial on these all the time just so the car will, somewhat hook up a little
Hooks
bit.
up. Yeah. Wow. Man, I was gonna say if you had like 10 holes on that thing or
Oh, I
something.
used to, man. I missed that though. I did have the 10 holes, but and it was like straight sleeper, dude. But
Dude,
it,
sleeper, yeah.
I didn't like that. I was so limited on the options for the wheels, and not only that, the brakes. It
Yep.
had a drum rear end. It had the stock 4-cylinder brakes in the front. So with the 10 holes, you're real limited on the brakes. The looks is perfect. Like it looks so stock, and I even ran a 15-inch slicks in the back at all times, so you couldn't even tell. You couldn't even tell unless you were really looking. You wouldn't even be able to tell there were
Yeah,
drag
I
radials.
know. And what exhaust is on there? So what, like you have the Cook's headers. What
Yeah, it's
muffler
got
are you?
Cook's headers, and it's got I actually took it to the shop. Older Mexican guy out here in Stockton. Let me see if you can kind of see it. Oh, it's dark. You ain't gonna be able to see a little bit, but it's got basically I bought one of those pipes, universal X pipes. and
Nice.
I pretty much just made it fit. I used every single piece in the X pipe, and it fit perfect. Like, I just took it to him. We kind of did it together. He welded where I told him to weld. We put V bands on the headers, V bands before the mufflers, and then everything else is pretty much 3-inch all the way into the mufflers, and then it's just got 2.5-inch chrome tailpipes or polished
Gotcha.
tailpipes, just so it looks stock. I didn't want like no big old 3-inch tailpipes or nothing like that.
Man, that is so sick. And you did
See the
such a
plates?
S550. That's awesome. You did such a clean job, Alan, too. That's the one thing, like, I noticed on your page, too. The ones that you've done, man, they're like,
Yeah,
clean, bro.
I would definitely say when I work on other people's cars, they get the better work. My cars always get the work that's, I'll finish it later. I just want to drive it
Yeah.
always. So I would never want somebody to judge me on the work I do to my cars. You know, there's still a lot of things that I haven't done. I've never got an alignment after I did the capture camera plates, like little things like that I'm just kind of like, let me put it together. I'll finish it later, and then I just, obviously later never comes because I'm busy trying to drive it and enjoy it.
Wow. Guys, while we're on, feel free to fire some questions for Alan about, if you're thinking about doing a Coyote swap, if you're in the middle of one, he's the guy. He's done a bunch.
Yeah, definitely. I do help out a lot of people, man. Like, I get a lot of people that hit me up, like DMs, YouTube. I probably respond to about 90% of the people that comment on my YouTube because, I feel like when I didn't know anything about swapping cars, I knew about Foxbodies and I had been in them for so long, but when I didn't know anything about swapping cars, like, there was really like 2 people that would actually take the time, answer my questions. Actually, 3 people.
Wow.
And they would actually take the time, answer my questions, and I probably annoyed the hell out of them. And now I kind of see, why. And I try to not be like that. I try to not to be, rude or anything like that. Some people ask pretty basic questions or, things like that. But I'm here to help, man. I'll help anybody as long as they're serious with the swap, man. I don't want to just waste my time telling you this, and this, and you have no intentions of actually doing it.
Yeah, no wasting time, please.
Yeah,
No
right.
We got some questions for you. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so sick ass Coyote swap. It's fast too. He beat me in my 03 Cobra. That was RVT 50.
Oh yeah, we raced out in the Bear. Yeah.
Maybe next time you'll get him. What's the best gen for Coyote swap from Candace to 50?
I would say definitely the Gen 2. Gen 1s, they're good if you plan on keeping it all motor, which the thing about the Coyote is you're not going to get to a certain point. I've heard people say, I want to make 500 all motor on a Coyote. Not going to happen. Right. Not going to happen without like some heavily ported heads, with, some straight race fuel. Like, it's just not going to happen. You're more likely to get on your basic setup, let's say E85, cams, Cobra Jet, tune, 475, 460. So I tell people that all the time because when you're expecting 500 horsepower, you're going to have to get a blower or nitrous or whatever it may be. So I would definitely recommend the Gen 2. I got a buddy who works at Ford, and he's told me all the horror stories about the Gen 3s.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they got a lot of issues with those. Like, it became so bad that people were on a waiting list because they had like no cores. They had no engines to give out anymore. They were going out so bad. They were knocking, they were ticking. They had a lot of oil starvation issues. So they were burning oil, and by the time you catch it, you'd lose a quart in between an oil change.
Oh, Jesus.
So definitely the Gen 2. It's an all-around, if you want to keep it all motor, you're going to make a little bit more power than a Gen 1. If you want to put boost on it, then it'll definitely take it. So yeah, definitely the Gen 2, especially if you're doing a swap. The control pack is a lot cheaper for the Gen 2 than it is for the Gen 1. I don't know why.
So altogether, it's the way to go.
It's just, yeah, Gen 2. You might spend a little bit more, maybe $1,000 more when you're buying the actual engine, but it pays for in the long run. It definitely pays off.
Absolutely. And then 1K asked, what's the hardest part of a Coyote swap for people that have never, done it before?
I would say, and it's not even hard, it's just the tedious stuff is doing the Hydro Boost stuff.
Okay.
So when you do the Hydro Boost, you have to, damn, I might have one laying around somewhere. You have to move the,
What is it?
LKQ.
I don't
It's like
think
a
so.
dismantler, junkyard. Not a junkyard because they take the parts off free. You just go in there, ask for what you want, they'll give it to you.
Yeah.
I've noticed that all the Volvo pumps are stamped Ford Motor Company, all of them. So they're original Ford pieces, but basically you just get the pump, which it ranges depending on the miles, anywhere from 50 to 75 bucks if you buy it through LKQ or like eBay or something.
Yeah.
It has a feed, a return, and basically power, ground, and key on. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. You just got to find somewhere to mount it. Mine is mounted in the fender here, so you can't
Yeah.
see it, but it just basically has a feed. The feed goes from the Hydro Boost to the Volvo pump, and then the return goes from it basically tees off into the return on the rack and into the return on the Hydro Boost, and that's it. Pretty much power, ground, a thick power, thick ground. It comes with the harness and everything, the pigtail, and then key on, and then that's it.